But the experts do seem 100% comfortable connecting some ossuaries directly to famous names in the Gospels, as long as they steer clear of the Jesus family. At the fifth station on the Via Dolorosa, the path Jesus walked carrying his cross, we find a dedication to Simon of Cyrene. It is here that there was a moment both historic and intimate between Jesus and a man called Simon. According to the Gospels, Jesus stumbled en route to the crucifixion, and Simon, who was visiting Jerusalem from Cyrene, helped him carry his burden. Simon and his son Alexander became early followers of Jesus. Experts agree that their ossuary has been found. Strangely, it sits ignored under an archival shelf in the back of a university building.
Well, we have a nice ossuary that was found in 1941. One of the inscriptions clearly says, Alexander, son of Simon, Alexandros Simonos.
That one that's clearly incised is right here, Shimon. You can see it very clearly.
Right, Shimon.
And apparently the chalk, which is on the other side and is essentially faded, does have the two names, Alexander at the top, Simon below, which would indicate that both of these individuals were put in this ossuary.
On the lid of this ossuary, the place name Cyrene in modern Libya is inscribed.
Maybe we'll be able to see that green charcoal if we get the light over here on this and be able to read it this time. Okay.
We need some more.
Oh, good. Yeah, bring that over. Oh, look at this. Simca, come here. Look at this. Forget the green for a minute. Look. This is incised.
Oh, my.
I don't think that's published. It's not published, is it?
No. It's not in any of the publications.
On the ossuary of Simon of Cyrene, the man who helped carry Jesus' cross, we found the same symbol that is carved over the entrance to the Talpiot tomb, the tomb that housed the ossuary inscribed, Jesus, son of Joseph.
I mean, I've never heard this anywhere.
Look, I'm in shock. Wow.
Well, I didn't expect it. I was trying to read the green letters. I wasn't looking for signs of early Christianity.
Signs of early Christianity. Is this a symbol that predates the cross? Is it possible that the symbol marking the Talpiot tomb became the symbol of the Jesus movement? It is, if the tomb belongs to Jesus and his family. Over 25 years ago, archaeologists discovered 4 ossuaries linked directly to Jesus and his family. Then, on a 5th ossuary, they uncovered another inscription. The inscription has 2 parts. The second part reads Mara, while the first part is a diminutive of Mariamne. Mary Magdalene comes down to us in the New Testament as not just a name, but a name and title. According to scholars, she is Mary from Magdala, Mary Magdalene. Magdala was an important trade center close to the Sea of Galilee. The people from Magdala would have spoken Greek as well as Aramaic. Christian traditions suggest that Mary Magdalene and her brother Philip were preachers to the Greek-speaking Jews. And it's quite likely that Mary Magdalene's family and followers would have written her name in Greek. The Mariamne ossuary is the only one found in the Talpiot tomb with a Greek inscription.
If one of the ossuaries had said Mary Magdalene, I would say wow, and I would be a lot more impressed.
If it will be written Maria coming from Migdal or Maria Magdalena, I would say very interesting.
This whole reporter, I think,
If the Mariamne inscription could be connected to Mary Magdalene, it would be more than interesting. It would be statistically compelling, because we could create a combined probability equation for the Talpiot cluster that includes Mariamne.
What happens when you do that is that the individual probability factors, even though they're not terribly small in any one particular case, when you multiply them all together, it actually starts to build up a picture that the overall thing that you've seen is actually a very rare event.
Because Feuerberger takes a conservative approach, he eliminates Mattia altogether, since he is not a known member of Jesus' immediate family. Feuerberger also divides the probability outcome by 4, so as to compensate for any unintended biases in the historical data. And he further divides the number by 1,000, representing all first-century Jerusalem tombs. By the end, his model concludes that there is only one chance in 600 that the Talpiot tomb is not the Jesus family tomb, if Mariamne can be linked to Mary Magdalene. But can she? One of the most famous tales associated with Mary Magdalene is in the Gospel of John, where Jesus stops the stoning of a woman punished for adultery. But there is no indication in the text that the unnamed woman is Magdalene. It's a later Christian tradition that has linked the adulteress to Magdalene, just as it has linked her to the tale in Luke of another unnamed woman specifically labeled a sinner who anoints the feet of Jesus. Drying them with her hair.
Mary of Magdala was a major apostle on a par with Peter at the time of Jesus. But later, after the New Testament, we say she's a prostitute. So the opposition to Mary of Magdala inside the New Testament and after the New Testament is the surest proof for me that she was very, very important.
The strong leadership displayed by Magdalene would have been regarded as suspect by an evolving, male-dominated church. So from the 2nd century, when church fathers began suppressing dozens of early Christian writings, the church rejected 2 texts that held Mary Magdalene in highest regard: the Gospel of Mary Magdalene and a text describing her brother's ministry, the Acts of Philip. For centuries, only fragments of these texts remained, and some sections had been considered lost forever. But in 1974, in an ancient monastery on Mount Athos in Greece, a Harvard University professor, Francois Bovon, uncovered a 700-year-old manuscript. It was the most complete copy ever found of the 4th century text, the Acts of Philip. In it, Bovon claims to have discovered an early description of Mary Magdalene, unmarked by later Christian tradition. In Aramaic, Mara means master.
Mara, the master. Even today, if you go to the Armenian quarter, the archbishop or one of the priests would be like Mar Samuel or Mar whatever, Lord, Master. You can still hear it. So it's a sign of respect for a rabbi, for a teacher, related to the Mara, the Lord, the Master.
What about the spelling of the first name in the inscription, the unique Mariamne, never found before or since on any other ossuary? In the Acts of Philip, Mary Magdalene's name is spelled M-A-R-I-A-M-N-E. Mariamne.
Mariamne is the same woman as Mary of Magdala or Mary Magdalene in the Synoptic Gospels and in some non-canonical texts like the Gospel of Mary, Pistis Sophia, etc.